Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. We're doing a live video today on menopause and how it can slow down metabolism and increase weight gain. And this could be for even a perimenopausal woman. We'll talk about the mechanism and what's happening under the hood and what you can do about it. Before we dive in again, please hit the like button and subscribe for great videos. It helps the algorithm, and love to see your comments down below and let me know what you think. All right, guys, so let's dive in. First off, what is menopause? So essentially, if you're a female, you're born with all the follicles in your ovaries that you'll ever have for your entire life. Okay. And so for the most part, when those follicles are run out, the FSH stimulation and the estradiol that is produced by that helps stimulate ovulation. And then you have progesterone output from that corpus luteum. That's going to stimulate healthy hormones and fertility. And then when those follicles run out, you don't have that estrogen reserve. So now you start to lean more on the adrenals. So you have this big hormonal drop. You don't have your typical hormonal cycling that happens when you have follicles. So typical, just to give you guys an update, physiology wise, a cycle typically has two halves. It's the follicular phase, the first 2 weeks, and then the luteal phase, the last 2 weeks. And typically the first thing that happens is you have this rise in FSH. All right, FSH grows the follicle. The FSH stands for follicle stimulating hormone. That causes the follicle in the ovary to grow. As the follicle starts to grow from the FSH, estradiol is being produced. So we have FSH go up, then estradiol starts to rise. It peaks around day 10 to 12. And as estradiol peaks, LH now surges. And so if you ran like an ovulation predictor kit test, an OPK test, you would see your ovarian ovulation with that surge in LH around day 12, 13. And then you have progesterone peak up right after LH. And so you have FSH, estradiol, first domino FSH, second domino estradiol, third domino LH, luteinizing hormone, fourth domino progesterone. Then you have estrogen kind of hovering in behind, but progesterone's predominating. And then you go into day 20 where everything's peaked out with progesterone, and then 26, 27, and then everything drops off around 28. And that triggers the flushing of that uterine lining, aka menstruation or period. So that's how a typical female hormone cycle looks. Now, when those follicles are gone, you don't have the FSH, you don't have the estradiol output. And so what happens? And so estrogen has a lot of important benefits for skin and for elasticity and for hair and for being youthful, right? Also fat deposition as well, breast tissue, hips, etc. Like all the things that make a woman, and progesterone as well. Progesterone is really important for relaxation, stress. And so you can have a lot of symptoms as you go into menopause, slower metabolism. Progesterone stimulates thyroid hormone. Estrogen has major effects on body fat and on metabolism, on increased metabolism, on appetite, and on basically increased metabolic rate. So when we look at estrogen dropping, progesterone dropping, what are a couple of mechanisms here that are decreasing metabolism and increasing weight gain? So first thing is progesterone helps stimulate thyroid peroxidase, which is an important enzyme that helps make thyroid hormone. So we know progesterone plays a big role with thyroid peroxidase. Two, if our adrenals are weaker, right? The adrenals are the stress handling glands that sit on top of the kidneys. We'll get a picture up there. So you'll see your kidneys right on top. The little hats on top of those kidneys are the adrenals. And you have layers of the adrenals. You have the outer layer, the cortex layer. I think it's the glomerular fascicularis layer. That's going to produce a lot of your cortisol. Okay. And then we're going to have our inner layer is going to produce our glucocorticosteroids for sugar and blood sugar and energy. And then our inner layer after that, deeper layer, is going to produce a lot of our sex hormones. And then our deepest layer produces like adrenaline, right? Our extreme stress hormones, right? Cortisol is one on the outside, and then adrenaline's the inside one. But you have that inner layer, right, does produce DHEA. And DHEA is an important precursor sex hormone from the adrenal. So as the ovarian reserve drops, we're going to rely on that inner part of the adrenal gland to produce that DHEA sulfate in particular, which is going to be converted to some of your estrogens. And even guys, it can be converted to testosterone too. So it does provide a big building block. So if the more stressed you are, the more inflamed you are, the more junky you've eaten throughout your 20s and 30s and your 40s, then the weaker your adrenals are going to be. And so the key to healthy menopause is having good ovarian function, good hormone signaling out of the gates, and then also ensuring that your adrenals, think of this as the backup generator for your hormonal battery. That's going to ensure when the storm comes and the power's out, boom, that generator kicks on. If the generator's empty, Storm kicks in, powers out, boom. Now the generator's not helping you out. And so think of the DHEA and the adrenal reserve. That's going to be the backup generator. So decreased estrogen levels is the big thing that happens in menopause. That's going to influence body weight. It's going to cause more body fat distribution, especially as it drops around the midsection. It's going to decrease your metabolism, decrease your resting metabolic rate. You're going to have more fat distribution around your thighs, around your midsection. So as estrogen drops, more fat goes to that midsection. And again, this is also going to be known as visceral fat. This is going to be the fat that's more associated with insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and increased heart risk. And again, you're going to have more inflammation and more hunger with this kind of fat too. And as you get older, you're going to be more insulin resistant, right? So we have insulin. This is a important energy partitioning hormone. So with high levels of insulin, the more resistant you come to it, the more your body wants to store fat, and it wants to convert sugar to fat. The more sensitive you are to it, the more your body is burning fuel, and the more your body is converting glucose and burning it up, right? So the big issue with insulin, you're getting numb to it, your glucose gets converted to fat, and that makes you fatter, and it also creates inflammation because insulin is associated with inflammation and advanced glycation end products, which is basically high levels of sugar floating in the bloodstream, not getting pulled out of the bloodstream adequately, creating oxidative stress and glycation in the vasculature. And next, you're going to have increased appetite. You're going to have a lack of satiation. So these hormones play a major effect on glucose and insulin sensitivity, and that can make your blood sugar levels harder to manage. And now your blood sugar is wonky. It's up and down. And these imbalances in your blood sugar are going to have a major role on your appetite and increase the chance of overeating and not feeling satiated. Also, as you have less hormone, estrogen and progesterone, you're going to have less muscle mass. Now, muscle mass is going to be the reservoir for excess glucose to get stored as glycogen. And it's also going to be the most metabolically active tissue. So that's going to increase your resting metabolic rates and will allow you to burn more calories, generate more energy. And again, muscle mass is going to help with your overall metabolism, so higher thyroid function. So all play an important role in keeping body weight dialed in. So if you're menopausal or you're perimenopausal, or let's say you're just a woman who has a lot of cycling hormone, because I can tell you the more a woman deals with cycling issues, meaning lots of PMS that week before the period happens, the more symptoms you have there, breast tenderness, mood issues, irritability, heavy menstrual flow, anemias, that's a sign that you're eventually going to have a lot of perimenopausal issues. Perimenopausal issues are essentially menopausal symptoms, hot flashes, a lot of the menopausal symptoms you normally have. The difference is you're still cycling now. So you're starting to get these prelude of menopausal symptoms, but you're still cycling. And then menopause is essentially no cycle for a year, and you're having the full-on hot flashes, elasticity issues, skin issues, vaginal dryness, lower libido, right? Obviously hot flashes, maybe insomnia. So all mood issues, all of those things that you see with menopause, that's perimenopause essentially, but you're still cycling, right? You're getting closer to it. And so the more you're on top of looking at insulin, managing your blood sugar, making sure it's not going wonky with healthy proteins and fats, getting your adrenals tested, see how your circadian rhythm is with your cortisol. We want cortisol to go higher in the morning and then lower at night. We want to make sure we have good DHEA sulfate in the top 25% of the reference range. But DHEA is going to be that important precursor that will funnel downstream to your healthy estrogens. And next, last but not least, we want to have the nutrients we need for insulin sensitivity. This could be extra magnesium. This could be extra B vitamins, folate. Making sure that we have, good carnitine so we can burn fat for fuel optimally. Make sure we're getting 10,000 steps a day. Make sure we're getting a little bit of resistance training, right? Making sure we're on top of our electrolytes and getting enough hydration. These are all going to be important things for appetite, mood, satiation, and allowing you to go into perimenopause, menopause with a good, healthy weight. And again, if you can throw in some interval training, right, whether it's a Tabata or a sprint on a elliptical or an air bike, these are going to be great ways to stimulate that fast twitch muscle fibers, which increase your metabolism, which increase growth hormone, which increases and allows better sex hormone output. It also allows you to deplete the glycogen in your muscles better, which allows you to store glucose for fuel better versus convert it to fat after a meal. And also, too, just going for a 5-10 minute walk after a meal is also very helpful at supporting your metabolism, clearing that glucose out and preventing your body from storing it as body fat. So guys, this is Dr. J here. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know. Put your comments down below. I will be answering them. I'll be checking them here tonight in just a little bit. And again, if you want to get some hormone testing, we do blood testing, estradiol, estriol. We'll run DHEA sulfate either in blood. We'll run Dutch testing, dried hormone testing for comprehensive hormone analysis. This is the urine test. We'll run the 4 to 5 cortisol strips throughout the day. We'll look at estrogen metabolism, how you're metabolizing your estrogen. We'll look at estrone, estradiol, estriol, E1, E2, E3. We'll look at DHEA sulfate, progesterone. We'll look at all the other hormone metabolites and even organic acids to assess how you're doing hormonally and get you in a place where you have good adrenal function so you can go from cycling years, fix the PMS issues if that's an issue, increase fertility, which is a good byproduct, allow better energy and mood, and then allow for less perimenopausal issues and a healthy menopause where you go into menopause, very little hot flashes, if any, maintaining healthy elasticity, no vaginal dryness, healthy libido, hair, skin, etc. So let me know. Link down below if you guys want to reach out to my staff and team. We are happy to help you guys out. Love to see your questions down below. And if you like it, please share with one family member or friend, and I'd love to see your comment.